Today, I'm going to walk you through step by step how we put together your new drum kit from Chaos Drums.
First, we'll start by unboxing our drum kit. Pull everything out so we can see what we're working with. Here we've got our drum heads, our drums, our cymbals, we've got hardware, floor tom legs, as well as a bag full of tension rods and bass drum claws. We'll start by grabbing our smallest drum. This is our first rack tom, a 10-inch drum. We'll also grab the drum heads that match. Grab your bag of tension rods and empty it out so we can see what's inside. Here we've got our bass drum claws, we've got our small tension rods for the tom-toms, and our larger tension rods for the bass drum. We've also got some grease in case we need it, and some nylon washers. Here we'll grab our bag that has the floor tom legs and drumsticks in it. It's also got our drum kit, which we'll need now. We'll unpackage the drum and loosen off the tension rods that are included. Put them to the side, take off your drum hoops, and flip the drum over so that the Chaos logo is now upside down. Now we'll grab our clear resonant head. This is the head that doesn't have a logo on it. Place it on the drum, grab a drum hoop, place it on top, and then we'll start screwing in our tension rods. Make sure to put a nylon washer on the tension rod, feed it through the hole and into the drum lug. Feed each one finger tight for now, and we'll come back and tighten it later. Once our tension rods are finger tight, we will place one finger in the middle of the drum, applying pressure. Now you'll see wrinkles appear in the drum head. We'll take our drum key and slowly tighten in a star-like pattern around the drum until these wrinkles disappear. Once the wrinkles disappear, we'll tap around each tension rod to see what is lower. If a tension rod sounds lower than the one next to it, tighten it up so that they're in tune with each other. Now we'll flip the drum over, grab our Chaos logo drum head, place it on the drum with our drum hoop, and once again start fitting our tension rods. Make sure to put a nylon washer on each tension rod. Once the drum is finger tight, we'll place our hand applying pressure in the middle of the drum and slowly tighten until we can see those wrinkles disappear. Fine tune by ear by tapping next to each tension rod, listening for a lower pitch and tuning that up to the other tension rods. Give it a test to see how it sounds. This is what we're working with. If you'd like to do some more fine tuning, feel free to do so. Next we'll grab our second rack tom. This is our 12-inch drum, and we'll grab the drum heads that match, unwrap the drum, loosen the tension rods and take off the hoops. We'll flip the drum over and place our clear resident head on. Now we'll refit the tension rods with our nylon washers, finger tightening all the way around and repeating the process. Once the drum is in tune, we'll test it with our drumstick. Now that this drum is done, we can move on to our floor tom. Rinse and repeat the same steps to complete the floor tom. Now we can see our 3 toms all lined up and ready to go. Next up is our bass drum. First we'll take off the top bass drum hoop and remove any of the plastic. Now we'll put our bass drum on the bench, unwrap it so we can get to the bottom drum hoop. Take off any of the plastic that's on there and put it to the side. Now we're going to start with our bass drum facing upwards so that the logo is on the top, and we'll grab our clear head and place that on. Grab one of the drum hoops, put that on top, and now we'll be after our bass drum claws. Grab one of the bass drum claws and a large tension rod. We'll also grab a nylon washer and thread it through the tension rod before we put it on the bass drum claw. Finger tighten all the way around until we are ready to tune. Now we're just going to go around the drum, turning the drum key twice, making sure that any major wrinkles are out of the drum, but we don't want this drum too tight. A little loose is for the better. Once we start to get a good tone out of the drum, with a little less wobble, we're good to go. Now we'll flip the drum over and grab our Chaos logo drum head. If you have a pillow handy, now would be a good time to put it in there. Ideally, you want the pillow to touch both drum heads at the same time. This will dampen any overtones and give it a nice muffled thud sound. Now we'll grab our tension rods and drum claws and start finger tightening all the way around. Once they're all finger tight, we'll lower the drum facing us, and we'll go around making sure that we get rid of any wrinkles that we can see. Once the front head is nice and tight, we can start loosening our bass drum spurs and putting them at a nice angle. Match each side of the bass drum so that they're both on the same angle. Now we can grab our drum key and loosen that drum key bit at the bottom of the spur to make these longer and create a bit of height in the bass drum. Ideally, we want it sitting about a centimetre or two off the ground. Now it's time to tune our snare drum. Loosen the snare wires by pulling the lever towards you. Put a drumstick in between the snare wires and the snare drum head and start tightening. We want to really crank this head. We want it to be tabletop tight, as they say. Go around, match the lugs with each other, and make sure it is really, really tight. Once you're happy with the tuning, turn the drum over and start tightening your snare wires. Turn the knob clockwise when the lever is down and pull up to test how tight they are. Now we can go and tune our top head. Try to match your tuning to mine. It's not going to be as tight as the bottom, but still pretty tight. Time for the bass drum pedal. Take off the plastic. Put the bass drum beater inside the bass drum pedal and tighten the drum key. Now it's time for assembly. Find your tom arm and place it inside the bass drum, tightening the wing nut, and we want these tom arms to be pointing to the ceiling. Fit your bass drum pedal to the bass drum and tighten the wing nut on the bottom so that it's nice and secure. Place your toms on the tom holder, tighten the wing nut, and now would be a good time to give them an angle that you're happy with. Grab your floor tom and flip it over so that it's upside down, and place the floor tom legs inside the holes and tighten the wing nuts. Now you can put your stool together. Grab the stool top, Place it inside the support beam and lower it into the legs. Place the bolt into the hole of your desired height length and tighten the wing nut. Now we'll find our snare stand. Loosen the basket and point it towards the ceiling. Undo the legs, push them out, and undo the basket so that it is open. Find the angle that's right for you and fit your snare drum. This is our hi-hat stand. We'll start by securing the pedal to the hi-hat stand, taking off the hi-hat clutch, and threading through our hi-hat rod. Now we'll take off our hi-hat clutch screw and one of the felts, place our hi-hat onto the hi-hat clutch, felt next, and then the screw. Make sure to tighten both sides of the screws so that they're nice and secure. Place the hi-hats on top of each other onto the rod. Push down a little bit so that there's a gap between the hi-hats. You can use your foot to do so. And then tighten the wing nut. Now we'll do our cymbal stand. Place the top half into the legs, then we can loosen off the wing nut and get this to our desired angle. Once the drum is all set up, it's ready to play.